If your entire emotional support system has four legs and a tail, this might be uncomfortable to hear. But there's a difference between loving dogs and using dogs to avoid something deeper. You know the type. Every conversation somehow circles back to their dog. Their camera roll is 95% dog photos. Their social life revolves entirely around dog parks and pet stores. And if you suggest any activity that doesn't involve bringing the dog, they suddenly have a list of reasons why they can't. This isn't about dog lovers. This is about people who've turned their dog into an emotional fortress. And the psychology behind it is more complex than you think. Let's start with the obvious one. Dogs provide unconditional love. And for some people, that unconditional part is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Human relationships require vulnerability. They demand communication. They involve conflict. They can reject you. Dogs don't do any of that. A dog will never call you out on your avoidant behavior. A dog will never expect you to work on yourself. A dog will never leave you for someone emotionally healthier. When you've been hurt by people, or when intimacy feels terrifying, a dog becomes the perfect emotional substitute. All the warmth, none of the risk. But here's where it gets interesting. Psychologists call this displacement. It's when you redirect emotions meant for one target onto a safer one. That need for deep connection, that desire to be understood, that longing for partnership. Instead of pursuing those things with other humans, where failure and rejection are possible, you pour everything into a relationship that can't hurt you back. Your dog becomes your best friend, your confidant, your reason for coming home, your entire emotional world. And because dogs are socially acceptable to obsess over, nobody questions it. Nobody asks why you don't have close human friendships. Nobody wonders why you haven't dated in years. Nobody points out that you're using a pet as a shield. Society actually celebrates it. Dog people are the best people. Dogs are better than humans anyway. I trust dogs more than people. These statements get applause when they're actually revealing something much darker. A complete withdrawal from human connection. Here's another layer. Dogs provide structure without demanding growth. They need walks, feeding, care. This gives your life routine and purpose. But unlike human relationships, a dog will never challenge you to become better. A dog won't ask why you're stuck in the same job you hate. A dog won't question why you never pursue your goals. A dog won't confront you about your drinking or isolation. A dog just exists with you. And for someone avoiding personal growth, that's the perfect companion. You get to feel needed, feel responsible, feel like you're caring for something, without ever having to face the uncomfortable parts of real intimacy. Then there's the social buffer effect. Bringing your dog everywhere isn't just about the dog. It's about having a built-in excuse to avoid deeper social engagement. At the dog park, you can have surface-level conversations with other dog owners. Oh, what breed is that? How old? So cute. These interactions feel social, but they're completely safe. You're connecting through the dogs, not with each other. The dog becomes a barrier that looks like a bridge. And when social situations feel overwhelming, you always have an out. I need to get home to the dog. The dog doesn't like being alone too long. The dog needs their evening walk. The dog isn't just a pet. It's a socially acceptable escape route from human connection. But here's what's really going on beneath the surface. Dogs operate in the present moment. They don't hold grudges. They don't remember yesterday's mistakes. They don't have expectations for tomorrow. For someone carrying shame, guilt, or regret, this is incredibly seductive. With a dog, you get a clean slate every single day. No history to navigate. No past to apologize for. No future to promise. Just pure, uncomplicated presence. And when your own past feels too heavy to share with another person, when the thought of explaining yourself feels exhausting, a dog becomes the only relationship that doesn't require excavation. There's also the control factor. In a relationship with a dog, you're always in charge. You decide when to play, when to stop, when to give attention, when to pull away. The dog adapts to you, not the other way around. For people who fear losing control in relationships, or who've been hurt by someone else's power over them, a dog provides the perfect dynamic. Love without surrender. Connection without vulnerability. Intimacy without risk. But here's the cost nobody talks about. While you're building this perfect, safe relationship with your dog, you're atrophying the skills required for human connection. The ability to compromise, to communicate through conflict, to sit with discomfort in relationships, to be vulnerable despite fear. These muscles weaken when you're only practicing love with something that can't challenge you. And the longer you lean on your dog as your primary emotional source, the scarier human relationships become. You've built a life where emotional safety is guaranteed. And now is less than #0. 6 is greater than. Anything that requires risk feels impossible. So what happens eventually? Your dog ages. Your dog gets sick. And one day, your dog is gone. And suddenly you're left with the emotional infrastructure of someone who never learned to build human connections. The grief isn't just about losing a pet. It's about realizing you used that pet as a shield. And now you're standing in the world completely unprotected, with no close friends, no romantic partner, no deep human connections to fall back on. Because while you were loving your dog, you were avoiding the uncomfortable work of loving people. Look, there's nothing wrong with loving dogs. Dogs are incredible. They provide joy, companionship, purpose. But if your entire emotional world collapses without your dog, if every human relationship feels impossible while your dog relationship feels perfect, if you're more comfortable with your dog than any person in your life, that's not love. That's avoidance wearing a very cute disguise. And deep down, you know it. The question is, what are you actually avoiding?